first question, what?
Brexit was actually a facade for what turned out to be a largely Libdem, socialist light agenda.
What? Because, I'm gonna let her finish, but she's saying Lib Dem, socialist light. So she's aiming at basically the left, centre-left of the British population. You know, the demographic that voted the hardest against Brexit. And she's saying that Brexit was their agenda, despite her being in government when Brexit actually happened. And by her own admission,
I'm on the right, proudly on the right of British politics.
But carry on.
Because after 2020, what did we see? Out-of-control immigration.
Which I warned your new boss would happen in 2017.
If the EU has restrictions on immigration and the UK hasn't been implementing them, leaving the EU would mean more immigration.
So the fact that your lot continued to support Brexit after I warned you this would happen means the lack of control on immigration is very much your doing.
Northern Ireland siphoned off.
Northern Ireland being essentially left in the EU single market is part of the Brexit deal that your government signed. Even better, while I was editing this video, I found this. You literally bragging about the fact that you had a hand in the Northern Ireland part of the Brexit deal. You literally campaigned to get Brexit done, and in terms of international law, the Brexit deal is literally Brexit, and that's what siphoned off Northern Ireland. So you literally campaigned to siphon off Northern Ireland, and now you're complaining that Brexit siphoned off Northern Ireland.
EU rules still applying in the UK.
The government you were a part of specifically chose not to have a bonfire of all the laws and regulations that came originally from the EU. Why? Because the organisations that represent British businesses, like the CBI, warned that a bonfire of EU regulations would cause major damage to the UK economy. So again, you're complaining about a decision that you made.
The highest tax burden in 70 years.
The damage that Brexit did to the economy cost the UK government £40 billion a year in lost tax revenue, so they had to raise taxes to make up for it.
A bigger welfare state.
If you make everything like food more expensive by damaging our trade routes with our 30 closest neighbours, then people are going to be poor and they're going to be relying more on welfare.
Where had the Brexit that we had all fought for, including this man, where had it gone?
This is the Brexit that Nigel Farage fought for. He stood down 319 Reform Party candidates specifically to help Boris Johnson deliver this version of Brexit.
So you could actually argue that in some ways we've been working in concert, albeit in different parties.
Again, you are complaining about problems that you lot created.